heard. We are absolutely delighted to welcome you all today for the second session of our panel discussion series on the theme Education Reimagined, Transforming Teaching and Learning. Now, when we talk about reimagining education, we are not talking about making the classroom look like a space station, though honestly, that would be cool. Instead, we are here to explore innovative ways to transform both how we teach and how students learn. This series is the result of collaboration between Skills Reform and Rosedale High School, Canada. Skills Reform is a groundbreaking force on a mission to bridge the skills gap through innovative guidance, transformative training, dynamic workshops, and essential resources for education leaders like yourself, teachers, and students. With our human centered approach powered by AI driven career assessments, expert mentorship, skill building programs, and global industry insights, we don't just prepare students for college, we equip them to thrive in their careers. And of course, our partner, Rosedale International Education, a company that's redefining the education globally. With authority from Ontario Ministry of Education, they have implemented the Ontario Secondary School Diploma, which is OSSD, in over 95 schools across 17 countries. And a whooping 70% of their graduates accepted in top 100 universities globally. And today, one of the key petals in the beautiful bouquet of reimagining education is a topic that's close to all our hearts: how to enhance student success by focusing on skill development and personal growth. Think about it. Students spend an average of 1,000 instructional hours per year with us in school. That's like watching the Lord of Rings trilogy over 40 times. But seriously, that's a lot of time to shape their futures. The real question is, how do we use those hours to equip them with skills they need to succeed? Because while we want our students to excel academically, our true goal is to help them thrive personally, emotionally, and professionally long after they leave our classrooms. And to help us navigate that strategy, we are in for a treat today as we have a powerhouse of panelists, each one of them with decades of experience in making a lasting impression on students, helping them bloom both academically and personally. Please welcome Dr. Niyati Chitkara, Ms. Aprajita Ralli, Mr. Fernando Oliveira, Mr. Manan Choksi, Ms. Sreela Sujikumar, and Mr. Asim Syed, who is moderating this thought provoking session today. A special thanks to our keynote speaker, Mr. Naga Tummala, for being with us today. We can't wait to hear from you, sir. I
Thank
would
you.
also like to extend heartfelt thanks to Mr. Ravi from Rosedale and my partner Chetna. You can say hi to them for bringing this incredible discussion to life. So let's get started with this dynamic session. And I'm thrilled to be part of what promises to be a thought provoking and impactful discussion. Asim, the stage is yours. Let's make it happen.
That's great. Thank you so much, Chitan. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our second panel discussion of the series on fostering student success through skills development and personal growth. My name is Asim Sayed, and I serve as the head of teacher development at Rosedale Global High School, a leading practitioner and solution provider in scaling the delivery of global K-12 differentiated education. I'm honored to be your moderator for today's discussion. So as you can see over here, we are joined by a panel of dedicated educators and experts who will help us look beyond traditional academic goals and focus on developing the whole learner. So together we will explore today how combining academic learning with personal growth through resilience, critical thinking, and leadership can empower our students to navigate complexity, embrace change, and lead with confidence the world beyond the classroom. I'm excited to hear the insights from our panelists, and I encourage all of you to engage with the discussion using the chat or Q&A function as we work together to redefine student success. I would like to invite each of our panelists to introduce themselves, so please kindly share your name, title, and a little about your background and experience related to today's topic. So let's start with Mr. Fernando.
Hi, everyone.
My name is Fernando Oliveira. I'm the principal and director of technology at Rosedale Academy, where I work with a wonderful team of educators and administrators to develop and roll out the Rosedale OSSD program. I've been in education for about 30 years, and I'm excited to be with you today.
Thank you. Next in my list, I can see is Mr. Manan.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Manan Choksi. I am from India, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. I am a chartered accountant and as an executive director of a leading school. So I have been in education since 20 years, and the main thing that we have been working on is how do we skill students. So like I have been a CA from non-educational teaching background. I'm running an organization. So how we develop foundational skills so they can be successful in whichever line that they choose, whichever profession that they choose, provided they have a great foundational skills. So that's what we are doing at our school.
That's great. Thank you. Next I can see is Dr. Niyati.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. This is Dr. Niyati Chitkara, and I'm the Vice President for Chitkara Schools. We have two schools in the region in the northern part of India, one in Chandigarh, another in Panchkula. We also have two universities, and we cater to more than 30,000 plus students. I'm also an author of a book called Assessment Quotient, and my work is primarily in the field of innovative teaching, learning, and assessment practices for Gen Zs, Alpha generation, and Beta generation learners. And I truly endorse employability. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on my list is Miss Sreela.
A very good evening to all the educators there, and thank you for this opportunity, Skills Reform and Rosedale. I'm Sreela Sujikumar. I'm just leading as the head of the school of TIPS group in Trichy. So we have like three schools under TIPS, the Indian Public School domain, and I'm heading the school in Trichy. So this is my first year into the southern part. I have come from North India after 22 years of service into Cambridge and IB curriculum. So yeah, worked in some flagship schools there, and so yes, this is the new geographical region and kind of establishing ourselves with Cambridge and IB curriculum here. Um, a student's teacher or a student's person, I would like to call myself a learner's person. That's the only identity I would like to establish myself for, and that's what I am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Last but not the least, Miss Aprajita.
Good evening from India. I'm now currently situated in Hyderabad, which is the south of India, but I hail from Delhi and been an army officer's wife for the past 30 years. Been in teaching for the past 32 years, so a huge varied experience of life and of teaching and learning. I believe that true to IB philosophy, I am a lifelong learner. I can't be upskilling my team till I upskill myself, so that's what I keep doing. And I think this session is a very timely session when we are all poised for change. So thank you, Rosedale and Skills Reform, for bringing us all together.
Thank you so much. Chitan, you will do the keynote speaker.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Asim. How should I start? Let me just take a note. To build a school is to build a civilization with technology. School can be made accessible anywhere, anytime. This principle has been the cornerstone of Mr. Naga education journey and inspired the founding of Co-School. Co-School is a transforming education with Gen AI to make child-centric education accessible to all. As a co-founder and chairman of People Combined Group, he has dedicated over 30 years to creating child-centric educational institutions, including Oak Ridge International Schools. He is also the co-founder of Arise, an initiative driving transformative reforms and policies in India, impacting the K-12 education sector. Additionally, he authored Show Me Das, The Man Who Saw Tomorrow, honoring his mentors' visionary contributions to education. In his new role as National President of CEO Clubs India, Mr. Naga aims to create impact and value for the Indian corporate world. As the socially conscious individual, Mr. Naga has pledged one third of his net worth to philanthropy. We are privileged to have you with us, sir. Welcome and kindly enlighten us with your thoughts.
Thank you very much, Chetan. Thank you, everyone. It is such a great honor and privilege to be with you all this evening and address the August gathering through Skills Reform platform. Before we talk about fostering student success, let's pause and ask, what does success really means today? For our students, success can no longer be seen in the narrow lane of marks, medals, or even marketability. In a world shaped by artificial intelligence and disoriented global order, the kind of constant change every minute, every hour that we are all experiencing, what success means for students should be the ability to live meaningfully, adapt purposefully, and grow continuously. So this sets our thinking and approach. How do we nurture our students? Let me offer a 4 lenses framework to approach to this success. First is meaning and purpose. Then comes life skills. Then physical and mental health. And finally, expertise skills. Typically, as educators, we involve into all these aspects, but most of the times when skills discussion comes, it gravitates towards the expertise skills. But if we look at the meaning and purpose of life, at the heart of success lies the pursuit of happiness and fulfillment. But let's not confuse happiness with pleasure or flattering achievements. It's about centered. It is about being mindful. It is also to be connected to oneself, to others, and to the world around. That is what the connectedness is all about. We must help our students to explore what gives them joy. Also, what values anchor their decisions. This gathering has so many nationalities and diversity. All of our decisions are anchored to our values. Then how can their success contribute to success of others? It is a narrow self-centered success. It is broader success for all. That's where my success lies, is what that understanding for students is very, very important. This is where education for the soul is so essential. Empathy, self-care, human values, judgment, love, and respect. These are some of the essential education that today's children need to focus or educators to emphasize. A student who understands their happiness is tied to the happiness to those around them is already on the path to meaningful life. Taking clue from this, when we get into life skills, of all these skills, the mother of all skills, I can say, is the skill to learn. In a world where every skill has a limited shelf life, lifelong learning becomes non-negotiable. Some of the most vital life skills are not always taught through formal education. They are absorbed through culture, conversation, and example. Listening is one such life skill. Listening is just not to reply, but to understand. Empathy grows from there. Then comes thinking. Thinking clear, thinking critically, and thinking creative. For that matter, breathing. Breathing is a skill. All the panelists are participants. How many of us know how to breathe? Managing emotions begin with awareness of breath. So other life skills, we generally talk resilience, reflection, adaptability, problem solving. These are all core pillars and they are essential life skills. Let us also remember, life skills are just not tasks. They are combination of attitude, aptitude, knowledge, work ethic, and discipline. They must be nurtured with care and intent. Our student must also learn the education is not just for personal advancement. It is also to exploit resources locally available in a sustainable way for collective well-being. Then comes the physical and mental health. We often talk about success and skills, but none of it is possible without good physical and mental health. In fact, health is not just a condition. It is a skill that must be learned, practiced, and sustained. We must teach our children how to care their bodies through nutrition, sleep, movement, and rest. Also, how to protect their mindset through mindfulness, emotional awareness, and expression. And most importantly, that asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. Mental wellness, much like academic achievement, requires effort, reflection, and support. Healthy literacy, emotional regulation, and stress management are critical components for a happy and healthy and successful life. Without health, there is no capacity to learn, to grow, to thrive, only survival. Then finally, the expertise skills about tools and systems. Yes, tools and technologies do matter, but we must be clear. AI is not just another tool. It has agency and intelligence and is poised to surpass human cognitive capacities anytime soon. In such a world, competing with machines is futile. Instead, we must teach students to use these tools wisely to solve human and social problems. This requires skills such as digital fluency, data literacy, and system thinking. Above all, a win-win mindset. Today, expertise skills lies not just knowing more, but in connecting the dots across disciplines, perspectives, and human needs. This is what I see the approach to decipher these skills. Then the role of the teacher in it. Who is going to nurture, who is going to do all this transformational work? It is the teachers. No matter what the technology is going to reach, what levels, teacher will have to be there to guide and to inspire students. In these rapid changing times, the teacher's role is even more vital. You are no longer the general knowledge transmitters. You are navigators, mentors, and co-learners. It is the teacher's learning attitude, curiosity about the world, and compassionate presence will shape our children. That's what centers them into where to focus. The teachers are the bridge between uncertainty and clarity, between potential and performance. Success today is not a destination, but a dynamic journey. And all the teachers attending this session could make some sense out of it and ready to give the gift to the students, a strong self, a strong sense of self and purpose, a toolbox of enduring life skills, and good physical and mental health habits. Also mastery over evolving tools of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Naga, for that inspiring and deeply insightful keynote. Your message actually has set the perfect tone for today's discussion. And it reminded us what truly matters in education, which is equipping students not only with knowledge, but also with the skills, the values, the resilience they need to thrive. On behalf of everyone here, thank you once again. Thank you so much for sharing your time, wisdom, and vision with us. We will begin with our first discussion question, which is focused on balancing academic rigor with personal growth. For decades, student success has been measured primarily by grades and test scores. But in today's world, we know that academic achievement alone isn't enough. Students need resilience, adaptability, and strong interpersonal skills to thrive beyond school. The challenge for educators is balancing rigorous academic expectations with meaningful personal development. Research shows that when students build critical life skills alongside academic knowledge, they are better prepared for real world success. Schools are increasingly shift towards holistic education models, integrating social emotional learning and competency based assessments to support well rounded education development. So let's begin with Fernando. We would like to hear your thoughts on this. How can educators effectively balance academic rigor with personal skills development to prepare students for lifelong journey? What are the most impactful ways to integrate personal growth into daily teaching?
Thank you, Asim. First of all, my apologies. There's some construction going outside my house, so if you hear any rumbling, that's where it's coming from. But for now, I think things have quieted down. I think that's a very important question. I also think Mr. Tummala also spoke directly to this question in very pointed ways. Academic success alone just doesn't cut it anymore. You know, grades and test scores, they tell us what the student is, what the student knows, but not necessarily who this student is becoming in that trajectory. What we often call these soft skills, resilience, empathy, and communication. These are actually the hardest skills to teach and the most essential when it comes to living well. These are skills that help students navigate the workplace, but also relationships and deal with setbacks and ultimately deal with or navigate life itself. And unless there are, AI super robots that are going to take over the planet anytime soon, and with perfect logic and zero drama, which, let's face it, doesn't seem like it's going to work out just yet. We're still living in a world that's run by humans, by people. So if we're building academic models for human beings, they have to celebrate and strengthen what makes us human. And that's where the Ontario Secondary School Diploma already gives us a head start. The OSSD has a mandatory community involvement hours, for example, where students are required to step outside their comfort zone and work in and volunteer in their communities. The OSSD also incorporates competency-based assessment, and that gives students multiple chances to show what they know, and more importantly, to demonstrate how they've grown over time. At Rosedale, we've built a foundation on these principles with intention. The OSSD isn't designed to be an online product, and that's very important. And I'll say that again, the Rosedale OSSD is not an online product. It's designed to be delivered in the classroom by real teachers in real relationships with students. And that's why we invest in seminars like this one, and workshops and teacher trainings, all with the goal of helping educators make learning more important and meaningful in the classroom. Because aside from parenting, there's really no experience quite like the classroom for teaching students how to listen, how to collaborate, how to be wrong, and try again. So it's not just about becoming better students, it's about becoming better humans, better people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fernando. Manan, what are your insights on this?
So we have the school which I'm running is a 60-year-old school. So when we try to change anything in an organization which is successful and is very old, there is a lot of resistance. So what we decided how we should go about it is, first of all, we need to invest a lot in teacher training. We need to sensitize teacher of what is going around the world, and the academic part is important, but we should look at the all-round development, and most importantly is the mental health. So that is one important thing, is that we invest a lot in teacher training. Apart from that is we just don't appreciate students who are academically excellent, but we also look at people who are good in sports, people who are good in performing arts or something like that. We have from a young age we designed something we called a passport system, in which we would give a small booklet to the children, and they would put on a sticker for all the non-measurable items. So mark sheet is something which is only tangible things which we can measure, but there are empathy, confidence, whether they have a helping nature, whether they are having like a good pleasing personality. These are all non-measurable items. We train teacher on how to grade students on that, and they should appreciate such small things in children that would eventually build on the child holistically, not just in academics. So I think there is a combination of like a system and teacher training. Employees need to be trained, and the most important part is the parents' cooperation, because what we have seen is that parents don't understand most of the initiatives of school, and either they ignore or they resist. So why, if they cooperate with us and be part of, so we have a vision that hard work is not going to be out of date no matter how many AIs come. So hard work is in non-negotiable. Second is how we treat a child will help him develop. And third is, of course, that children should be appreciated in other achievements also. Then they will try to exceed. So these are the ways how we deal as a school on all-round development of the children. And of course, as our school is known for is a lot of academics, so we do not lose focus from academics at all.
That's great. Thank you so much. It sounds like that is of course we have to bring celebration. We have to bring the appreciation of the students in our system, and we also have to have some kind of that's what I'm hearing so far. That is, we have to have some kind of system to not only address the grades. We have to have something like which Manan mentioned, passport system, or Fernando mentioned as a competency-based reporting. So, Dr. Niyati, how do you approach this in your work?
So I would like to extract a wonderful word that was there in your question, which is called balance. And the balance I ideally would further dissect into two words, which I would like to mention here, which is cognitive and emotion. So the skills that you're talking about, the academic rigor, is cognitive. And then other skills that you're talking about, we're talking about resilience, we're talking about adaptability, we're talking about skill readiness. It is all EQ. So I would like to take it in a way where, it's a good blend of IQ, EQ, and SQ, which is skill quotient, all combined and encompassed by technology quotient and health and happiness quotient. Because unless you're healthy and happy, you can't have higher cognitive levels and you can never reach higher levels of academic rigor. So now I would like to further divide it into and taking it one by one. We're talking about IQ, the academic rigor. So in our institution, we strive towards employability. See, we're running a reverse school. We're a school of employability, readiness, future readiness, and our curriculum is reverse. We don't work for boards. We work beyond boards, right? And we work for employability. We work for industry immersion. We work for skill readiness, global readiness, and that's what is our curriculum. And it is validated by university education and industry education. So it's a reverse school, starts from PhD, goes down to playway. Also, I would like to talk about employability in a very different way. When we look at employability, we look at it in a very narrow way. We look at it with respect to appearing for a job interview and cracking a job. But employability as such is not just employability, but whole lot of readiness and whole lot of skill development around it, which covers the term employability. And what we've done with our institution is we have not created classrooms. We have created employment studios. There are three walls inside the classroom. There are three windows rather inside the classroom. One is a value window. So we train students on values pertaining to each employment area. So there are values in stock market too. There are values in fashion industry too. So it's just not about preaching values, but making them practice in a real world scenario. Also, sustainability, the green window and the fact window reminds the teacher that every lesson needs to be addressed according to the needs of the future readiness. I would also like to mention here very, very innovative ways of taking the students from knowledge to decision making and creativity, as mentioned in the Bloom's taxonomy. I also would like to advocate one theory which every educator must go through, which is Kohlberg theory of moral development. Second is EQ. So how is EQ developed? How is resilience developed? You don't teach resilience. You throw situations on the students so that automatically it emerges out of them, right? So what we do is, and one way to develop EQ is we have beautiful clubs in our schools. All of us have, right? But we're dealing it in a different way. We are not running regular clubs. We are running employment clubs. So anything that ends up into employability, sustainability, sustainable development goals, coming up with sustainable development ambassadors, coming up with health brigades, coming up with disaster management committees, where students get chance to practice leadership, industry immersions, hackathons, coming up with wonderful internship opportunities, job shadowing. So these are wonderful tools which prepare students for a better tomorrow. And last but not the least, we strive and start putting students on the path of employability from sixth standard onwards, and we design career trajectory of each and every student of the school and coming up with a very strong digital portfolio, eventually making students ready for the AI generation. So that's the entire umbrella of, how we treat this beautiful question that has been raised by you. And that's how we take it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Niyati. I definitely will be putting Chitkara International School in my visit when I'm going to visit India for sure.
We will
Thank
be
you.
honored.
So let's move our conversation. We had a great start. I think let's move our conversation to cultivating resilience, because it sounds like that this is where we would like to focus on. So what resilience means, that helping students navigate challenges. The resilience is a defining characteristic of successful individuals. Yet we see students struggling with setbacks, whether it's academic failure, social pressure, or uncertainty about the future. A resilient student doesn't just bounce back, they learn from challenges and grow stronger. So as educators, we play a crucial role in shaping students' ability to handle difficulty. Schools are now adopting trauma-informed teaching, mindful practice, or wellness or well-being programs to help students develop coping mechanisms. But beyond programs, the way we respond to failures in our classrooms, whether we frame it as a learning opportunity or as a dead end, can significantly impact a student's mindset. So resilience is a key factor in student success, but many students struggle with setbacks, stress, and academic pressure. So the question is for this category is that how can educators create environments that help students develop resilience and navigate challenges effectively? So let's hear from Ms. Aprajita. What's your perspective on this?
Thank you. There's so many nuggets to take away already from this part of the evening. So thank you all for all of that. We are preparing children for a world that we don't see, for jobs that don't exist. That's something that we all discuss in many platforms, and it's a worry that, whether our children will fail or will they, pass off with flying colors. At Sreenidhi, where I am the principal, we do not stress too much on just the excellence. So resilience is, as has been said, not something that we can learn in one, let's say, single lesson, but it's organically part and parcel of the way we are. So to make it a culture of a classroom, we view it as a mindset to develop and nurture a growth mindset through relationships that we nurture with our children, with our parent body, and also through routines of reflective practices to develop the metacognitive skills amongst the learning community. And when I say learning community, I am talking of the entire stakeholder setup, which is, learner at the center, students at the center, and all of us adults who are focusing around them. So that is something that we try to normalize struggle. There are often times that we talk about, for me, I joined the school 2 years back from Delhi. And for me, a cultural change to move from a north of the country to the south of country was a huge difference. And I often talk about how I could have used it as a failure, but no, I used it as a stepping stone, and it was a learning opportunity for me. And my students are, very often they see me, hear me reflect on what happened, what could have happened, what did well. So we as adults, we role model. That's one thing I believe, that leaders, teachers, adults must role model, must accept failure as a normal thing. It will happen. So even in a daily classroom, a child should be able to tear off and not get wedded to the, first research, the investigation that they are submitting. Tear it off. It didn't do well. Miss, how can I learn better? Miss, I'm happy to learn more. Please give me feedback. Revisit feedback. Work on their own progress. Own their learning. These are not just words, but these are things that we need to, and we do at Sreenidhi, from time to time, have well-being check-ins, circle times, and we are, giving mentoring conversations right through to the senior classes where children are able to understand, oh, I applied for this university, didn't work well. Never mind, what are the other options? Maybe I can try again later. So there is never a time that you give up, but you bounce back. So there are no doors that are shut down, but there is always this burning curiosity. What can I do better? What can I do more? And that happens with one keyword: keeping communication channels open, keeping the communication, absolutely open for all children, open door policy where children, teachers, parents, they're okay to come and ask. The question why is always answered. And I think that has helped us model, this whole idea of resilience, wherein we are cultivating it. We are allowing for that space of, it's okay, never mind, there is always a next time. And you're living it. So I think, it creates a happy school when you start living and accepting people for all the negatives, all what is not working well, all the pluses, all what is, celebrating the achievements and the downfalls equally, because there's always a next time. That is the philosophy that we are working around. And of course, there are challenges, but we are making a good headway, and it's working very well for us so far.
That's great. Thank you so much, Aprajita. And I think that I fully agree with you. I think that in terms of the role modeling, change everything from our educators, and have to have the, as you mentioned, that individualized learning and individualized support for each student. Again, brings a complete different perspective for the students, instead of having the same feedback and the same support for all students. We will hear the thoughts from Ms. Sreela. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, thank you, Asim, for that question. I would say almost everything had been repeatedly said about building resilience. So I would start from the point where we say basically resilience grows when students know that they have a support system and they are not alone. So it's not only from the school or the fraternity that we alone have to work towards that. Children are with us for like 6 hours or 7 hours or 8 hours, and the rest of the time they're with the parents. So we in tips try hard to just see that parents also sail in the same boat. Normalizing failures or struggles, when we talk to children and we kind of get interventions happening, we make sure that parents also share their part of the story, their part of the stories of failures in front of them, rather than always being demanding. So it all starts with a 360-degree work. So not only the educators, not only the learners have to, parents also need to be a part of that journey, that sometimes they shy away by, from sharing their own kind of failures and setbacks. And they all like aspire, want their children to be aspiring for more and more. So we kind of engage into conversations wherever possible. We try and tell them that start from there where they know that they've got the back. And it just starts from where they start getting to know that they are not alone in the entire journey. Second, as Aprajita ma'am rightly said, like modeling. And this is again an educator or say the head of the school or anyone can share their kind of stories inside the classroom regularly. And I very openly, in this forum also, I can say that very openly, I am one person as a head of the school. Might at times my teachers would also wonder like how ma'am goes into the classroom and admit this. I had been a thorough failure in mathematics in my early years of schooling. And I never shy away from saying that or sharing that with the children. So being a Cambridge, educator, and then coming to Cambridge, becoming a head of the school, I multiple times I might voice out that it did not stop me from anything. Though it was not my, my fault, might have been the learning area was not clear for me or the help I did not get. So sometimes you just voice out your own journey in such a transparent way, and keeping it open for children to depend upon you makes it easier for us to build what we want in them. And we normally see, because the setbacks are very common, and we see that all the schools in today's scenario, we urge for results, and they get good results, all A stars we aim for. And when they get into universities and one project failed, or one a response from a professor coming back in a negative tone, you suddenly hear them saying that they are distressed or they are into stress. So there, I believe we start in a very early age, from grade 1, 2, and all. In tips, we mindfully do that. We celebrate small wins, like the process, whatever they are up to. So New Age curriculum has got all these SLCs and showcases. So wherever the process matters, we try to celebrate those process, not the end result. So by the time they are into a senior grade, they understand that yes, in our journey, all our smaller milestones were celebrated, and they go home, they carry that winning, stories to home, that whatever we do, our process were celebrated, not that the results always counted. So these are all the things, and journaling is one thing what we imbibe in our children, to see that they journal it out, because it is all about speaking, sharing. As Mr. Naga said it rightly, that you hesitate from asking help or sharing. So in that one zone also, we work so hard to see that they are never, keeping their things with themselves. They're always shadowed by somebody where they can share their mind, journal it out, and share with us, where we can reflect that with parents and combinedly bring into building up resilience in the children. So it's a continuous effort, and we are into the process. And I believe every educator does that mindfully in the school. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sreela. Yes, of course, that it takes a village to raise a child. That's what it says, and I think that I can change that a little bit. That it takes a village to raise a student as well. That where educators, mentors, families, guardians, even the society has to be part of that. And I think that that's where the whole culture and mindset has to change. So moving on to our next discussion question, our focus will be on leadership development, encouraging students' voice and initiative. Leadership isn't about titles or formal positions. It's about initiative, collaboration, and problem solving. In today's dynamic world, students take ownership of their learning and contribute meaningfully to their communities so they can stand out. But leadership doesn't develop in isolation. It needs to be nurtured. A school that prioritizes student voice, encourage project-based learning, and provide real-world opportunities help students cultivate leadership skills in an authentic way. As we know, leadership is not just about a formal role, it's about taking initiative, collaborating, and making an impact. So the question is, what are the effective ways to develop leadership skills in students? And how can we encourage them to take ownership of their learning? So what's your take on this, Fernando?
Thanks for the question, Asim. I really appreciate the shift in perspective, and I appreciate how, as a panel, we're kind of all pushing in the same direction. And we're saying that I think leadership isn't about titles or being the loudest in the room. It's really about agency. When students feel that their voices matter, they begin to see themselves as leaders. And leadership, as we know, isn't something you develop by accident. It grows when students, they co-create projects, they solve real problems, and they mentor one another. And that's when they realize that their ideas spark change, and that's a pretty powerful moment. But here's the thing: we can't stop just producing essays and pretty spreadsheets. We need those skills, absolutely, but they also need to defend their arguments. They need to understand the story behind the data and recognize both understand their own bias and the bias of the system that they're working in. So leadership today means being able to think critically, to speak clearly, to engage thoughtfully in the world and with each other. Again, and as I said in my first response, I really think that's where the classroom is such a brilliant incubator, an important place for leadership. It's a space where students can take risks, to be challenged, and to figure out how to ask better questions. And in a world where the line between fact and fiction is quite fuzzy these days, the ability to think independently and communicate meaningfully, it isn't just useful, it's essential. And so in my small part of the world where we look at the Rosedale OSSD, we've built these ideas into our structure. Assessment isn't just about what, but it's about the how. And the OSSD system evaluates students across 4 achievement categories: knowledge, inquiry, communication, and application. So online tools are great for delivering content. Just ask ChatGPT to give you just about anything, really, these days. But classrooms are where the ideas are tested and brought to life. And that's where real leadership starts, not just in what students create, but also in how they think, how they engage, and how they grow. Because at the heart of all learning and really all leadership is connection. Students don't just remember what they teach, they remember how we made them feel. And I'm sure if I went around our panel right now and asked people to talk about what they remember in their time in secondary school, I bet you remember those teachers more than you remember the content. And it's through those human moments in that conversation, in that collaboration, in those conflicts, that's where real growth happens, I think. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fernando, for that. Manan, could you speak to this from your lens?
So what we have figured out over a period of so many years, that a child needs a lot of exposure to become a leader. So they need to be exposed to various things, and they would typically be that they need to build a lot of confidence. So if we have if we do things which a child like, they gain confidence. So if naturally they would be either good in arts, they would be good in sports, they would be good in studies, and we expose them to various challenges. Then what we have seen is that the child becomes has the confidence to become a leader. Last few years we have also signed up with a course of Franklin Covey, which is Leader in Me, in which we talk about leadership. But most importantly, that is most, I would say, theoretical aspects. It is suppose interdependency and independent. So first the child has to be independent, then you have to be interdependent, and then it has to have a lot of interpersonal relationships. So that is all what is about what we have been teaching. So if you ask me what single thing which creates leader, then I would say that that single thing is it's not possible. We need a lot of aspects a person needs to have. Then a person can become a leader. So they need to do something they like, and they have enough adequate exposure, and then we have to give them opportunities on how they can become leader. Usually it works. What we have seen is that we had done this earlier. Our school was focused only on academics like 20 years ago, and now we are focusing on a lot of other aspects. We have seen the more we expose our children to failure situations, where we know they're going to fail, but they're not going to fail, get humiliated, the more we have seen that resilience, that they build acceptance to failure, they build resilience. And when they have more resilience, they get more confident, and eventually they naturally turn out to be a leader eventually. So that's a long drawn process. It's not like a theoretical lecture. that you complete like one book of leadership and you'll be leader. They may pass the exam of leadership, but practically they may not be a leader. So that's how we do it at here, our place.
That's great. Thank you so much. And I think that it's as you and both Fernando mentioned, and I think that it's that personal relations, personal connections makes a huge difference for students to make them feel that their voice can be heard by educators. Their voice is important, and I think that it's as in Manan was mentioning. I think that it's more about the exposure as well, that how they're being exposed to these things. We used to, when I grew up, we used to say that practice makes you perfect. And I changed that statement when I started teaching. And I changed that statement to practice doesn't make you perfect, because nobody is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, and mistakes has to be honored and has to be accepted in the class. Practice actually makes you learn better. So I think that's where the whole process comes in. That is how we can get these leadership in our students by changing that whole thing. So moving on to our last discussion question on strengthening practical skills development in India. So as India's economy rapidly evolves, there is a growing emphasis on bridging the gap between education and employability. So the National Education Policy, NEP 2020, and various skills development initiatives highlight the importance of integrating internships and hands-on training within mainstream education. However, of course, there are challenges such as industry collaboration, outdated curricula, and accessibility to quality training remains a significant hurdles. According to the insights from the document, Reimaging Vocational Education and Skills Building, there is a clear need for structured internship programs, competency-based learning models, and stronger partnerships between educational institutions and industries to ensure that the students graduate with job-ready skills. So given this context, let's discuss that how can school leaders and institutions enhance practical skills development, real-world application, and meaningful internship experiences to align with industry needs and ensure employability. So for this question, let's begin with Niyati. We would like to hear your thoughts on this.
Yes, it's a question extremely closest to my heart, and I'd love to answer this. So there are a lot of ways with which, one can kind of work towards bridging the gap between industry and academia. And you very well mentioned regarding the internship part. I'll come to that, but there's also another tool that I feel is phenomenal and works and does wonders, and we're using that in our institutions. So maybe I'm very, very proud to say that maybe we're one of the very few schools in India or maybe in the world where students and teachers have filed and have been granted 20 plus patents. So this is one thing which is very unique because it shows a lot of teamwork between school and students. And patent is the epitome out outcome of education. So it's not an easy journey. One has to live through loads of experiences, and that is where you prepared for a good industry exposure. So that's one tool that we use in our institution. Another wonderful tool that I truly recommend is internships. But the problem with internships is that these are unregulated in many, many aspects. So the idea is to come up with a framework, and I truly recommend Vygotsky's socio-culture theory, which we are using to as a base to provide structure to internships. So there are stages, and students have to earn through those stages. So it comes up with an explain stage, model stage, scaffolding stage, and finally being independent. So be it an internship of a teacher or a counselor or a student, you have to earn your stages. So that's one thing which is important, because internships idly they are taken very lightly. It's a leisure, you spend time, you shadow jobs. So job shadowing and internships are two different things, which I truly want to advocate. Third is sustainable development goals. Wow, what a structure United Nations, has given different countries. And I think if we divide opportunities of each and every SDG among, school students and create cohorts. It provides a real practical experience of combining education to the real world scenario. And you can measure it. You can actually monitor it, assess it through sustainable development meters. And also, last but not the least, I would like to also suggest our team has written a research paper with European Union. The name of the paper is Edu Reform, which talks about reforming education, skill-based education 5.0. So we truly recommend, in case anybody, the teaching fraternity is interested. So we've written a paper, and there's a whole lot of testing done and quantitative and qualitative data analysis done on that. So I would like to suggest these certain tools which might work, in other institutions too. And we're trying we're really striving towards reducing and bridging the gap between industry and academia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Niyati. What's your perspective on this, Aprajita?
So by virtue of being, the IB world that we are in, we are, if I may say, absolutely tuned in with the world ready thing. We are preparing children for the bigger world. But it is always never easy, because it is also centered around the community that you're working in, or the place that you're in. So we start this with sharing the vision, or the understanding of the vision that we have, and that is shared with across everyone, all stakeholders. There are very many ways of doing that. We do that through orientation programs, through emails, through emails, and through other processes that we bring the parents in, the teachers, the children in. Once that vision is shared, and then you are comfortable that they are on the same page, you allow for students to bring in their feedback on what they think, where they want the school to be. Many of them who've been in the school for a very long time, they have very clear ideas on where they want to take it. So therefore, you start inviting those opinions in focus groups. And that works very well when students start owning not only their learning, but also the change that they want to see in their setup in their school. And that change could be a simple thing of change of timing, or even, what they want to learn and how they want to learn. So even a curriculum review sometimes is driven through that. It is very, very empowering for a student to be able to tell a teacher, we could do it this way, and let's look at the content this time this way, or this is the skill that I want to master through this lesson. Could you help me with that? So that empowerment, that enabling agency, is what the school provides to them. The third thing, and as Dr. Niyati has pointed out, is the SDGs, which is, the most dynamic platform that has been given. So we use it absolutely to the fullest. In fact, we have our students who go around identifying issues, making it a very local kind of an experience, where locally they are identifying the issues and they look for solution on what has happened very well across, what hasn't worked well across, what I can do, I fail, doesn't work, I redo, I reimagine, so whether it is in terms of well-being, our students have started off a varsity club for Hyderabad, where students have got all schools together, and that soccer plus basketball, they've been doing a wonderful job of that, and it's totally student driven. Then there was an incinerator that they established in the city, which was for e-waste management and everything. It's because they are given those opportunities, and I think it's about the opportunities which we provide them through our learnings in different areas of the subjects. That is very driven by the SDGs, which we do a lot. I think these 2-3 things, allowed for our children to develop the voice and the choice. And then after that, we normally don't tell them what to do. So the why is established, the what they come and tell us. And that is driven through solution-based SDG programs that they want to run. So which every school does, the clubs and the solution-based activities, which they are going out to the community. But each and every activity is an empowering one. And for each one of them, there's a learning that they bring back. And that becomes unique to the area that we are in or the community that we belong to. That makes them heroes for all of us. And I think those are areas that we celebrate. And it becomes something that not only aligns them to the real world and to also be having partnerships with the real world, the industry that they are going to be moving into. So that works very
Thank
well.
you. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Aprajita. Sreela, would you like to weigh in on this question?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll start from where the other two members, the esteemed panelists, stopped there. SDG is actually a blessing for every school. It is there already mentioned, so I don't want to repeat those areas. Again, I'll start from certain points where it is when we say student-centric or learner-centric. Again, it's all about the surroundings and eliminating the gaps between curriculum and the career. So giving an awareness to the children from the early age how to eliminate the gap between the curriculum and the career. Again, I would say parental involvement is very necessary because we are in a setup in India where parents aim more towards a set career choice and imbibe those ideas in a very early stage to the children in their minds. So children grow up with those designated areas that we are either meant to be writing JEE or NEET, and we don't have other career options outside, or say like one computer engineering or computer related anything which is coming across. So it's a bit a difficult task to bridge that gap of career and the curricula. So we kind of devise plans to see that it starts from an early age. And again, to do that, instill that inside the classrooms, we give opportunities for our teachers to upgrade their skills about applied skills outside by industry visits, meeting industrialists and eminent people. So teachers are the first, the faculty members are the first one to upgrade their skills to understand that what exists outside in the world. So that becomes a common talk, not that I'm talking only about English as an English literature in the classroom, or I'm computer sciences teacher, so I would only concentrate in that. I would rather use those transdisciplinary approaches inside the classroom with industry talk, with industrial, understanding being shared from an early age. Second, I would say every school in current, I won't say that my school or TIPS, we are only doing it. In today's scenario, every school is focused towards bringing up student leadership and, making them involved into the part of regular processes. So we do have setups where any event or activity organized in the school would definitely see that student-led small outlets are being given to students where they will lead, they will do the math, they will do the setup from the scratch. So that gives them an idea about how you organize something and how you come up to a level of establishing something. So hands-on experience through key involvement into the stages where they establish something. Then I would say student-led ventures is one thing, and alumni speaks quite often. So alumni walk-ins or alumni speak, where they get an idea that, okay, fair idea that, okay, our own seniors, they graduated and they are doing certain things. It's not necessary that we have to focus on to one area only. So alumni involvement is a crucial thing in our school. And I would also say one blessing with Cambridge curriculum or say IB is that the involvement of TOK as well as global perspectives as subjects for us to teach. So it definitely adds on value by asking children to go on for their individual research and industry visits and all. And those team projects, what they have to do, make it very crucial for them to have an exposure. So naturally, with the curriculum that is there, in addition to that curriculum area, whatever we can bridge in with the help of parents and the fraternity, faculties, we quite often do that. So that's how I would say that the gap between the classroom and the careers are bridged in basically in school. So it has to be real. So education basically has to be real and relevant. That is how I would like to say it. Like it has to be relevant, not only that what we want to convey or what we want to teach them is continuously being given to them. Rather, it has to be relevant based on the society standards. So we make sure that those kind of activities are involved in the school regularly. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much, Sreela. And that concludes our discussion questions. Now I would like to invite our panelists to address the questions selected from the audience. So we will open the floor to audience questions. If you would like to ask a question, please post your name and the name of your school in the chat, where the chat functions are, and I will call you on to direct your question to any panelist which we have here today. Given our time constraint, we will limit the number of audience questions to only 3. So please make sure that your camera and your mic are ready, and also keep your questions concise and relevant to today's discussion. So let's begin. So once again, please post your name and the name of your school in the chat. And I'm going to bring you on.
Asim, I think Dr. Sonal Jain has a question from Apple School. So, Dr. Sonal, can you? Yeah.
Asim, you can unmute and enable their cameras also.
Okay, yeah. So I will take care of that. Okay, we should be able to see. Sorry, it was just processing, is taking time. So yeah, so can you, Dr. Jain, can you see us?
Oh, hello. Can you
There
hear
you
me?
go. Yes. Yep, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Yes. So I just wanted to know what is the difference of education system in India and abroad. I want to know what is the curriculum difference. Why is it that we are still not that upskill where, if you say Finland education system is really very good. Why is it India? India is also very good, I feel. The foundation of education level in India is much more stronger than any other country. So I just want to ask, what is the exact difference you find between Indians and others, when I talk about curriculum and development?
Great question. Dr. Niyati, would you like to address that question?
Please.
Well, ma'am, I think I don't know how much data do we have to validate that statement, but
Yeah.
but I think it's an individual perspective, or it's more to do with hearsay. I think all the nations are very progressive, and they make sure that everybody's striving to achieve higher standards of education, because the idea now is not to compete with each other. The idea now is to compete with AI. So it's more to do with readiness rather than competing with each other. We can't say which is the best and which is not up to the mark, because we do have fantastic case studies where Indian education has really shown phenomenal results, where most of the top leaders of different companies of the world, the leading leaders of the tech space, majority of them are from India. Had that in Indian education not been impactful, they wouldn't have been there. So we can't really say that which nation has, because it depends upon data, and it depends upon the population size and the sample size and all that dynamics. But what I want to tell you is a very well balanced, very well prepared teachers create good education systems, and they shape the generations of the country. So everything is in the hands of the teachers and the counselors. They can really do wonders. You can be in America and do wonders for your nation. You can be in Canada and you can really take the education system to the next level. You can be in India. The fight now is to sustain in front of the generative AI and make sure that you keep overpowering it and keep challenging it. That is what I understand out of it. Hope it answers.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Niyati. I think Manan, you would like to add to this question.
So most people don't know what is the cost per child for educating a child in Finland and what is it in India. So in India has self-finance schools, which are one of the most affordable and effective education system across the world. So no, maybe Finland is better than us, but at what cost? That nobody knows.
Thank you so much, Manan. We will bring in the second question. And from my list, I can see Mr. Raphael Brown. So go ahead, Raphael Brown, please turn on your camera. Thank you. So please proceed with your question. And of course, you're more than welcome to ask any panelist actually to address.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, first of all, to you all. It was all very insightful listening to you all and coming together sort of with a collective mindset that more is needed to be done in terms of developing our soft skills. I just wanted to ask, and this can go to anyone on the panel, I think you're all very well educated enough and have the experience enough to answer this question. But here in the UK, we try and embed soft skills within our curriculum. And I just wanted to know, from your perspective, what you think are the most critical skills for that future employability, because we focus on many different soft skills, but what do you believe are the most pertinent for our future, especially as we're trying to compete with, like you said, Doctor, with AI? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raphael. Fernando, as being the principal of Rosedale Global High School OSSD curriculum, would you like to share some insights? Sorry, you're on mute. That's okay. So we can start with Ms. Aprajita, and then Fernando, we will come back to you.
Sure. So for me, in the present times, we need to be most communicative. I think for me, communication skills are something that need to be embedded in every kind of teaching, learning practices. And that communication can be written, it could be verbal, it could be visual, however we want to convey, because expression and also what we need to be, conveying to another person is the most significant thing in today's time. How we are doing it is something that time will tell us, whether we let the generative system take us over or whether we do it ourselves. That's something that but even if there is AI that we are letting it rule, I don't think, in my mind, I don't think we can take away the teacher from the learner ever. So that communication will keep us bonded forever. And I believe that very strongly. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Aprajita. Yeah, Fernando, sorry, go ahead.
Sarah, I'll just jump in. I totally agreement with that. I think, especially now with AI in the picture, everything, it's very easy to become very product focused in terms of generating spreadsheets and essays. And with the OSSD, what I really appreciate about that model is that it really tries to triangulate the product. It's important, of course, we need the product, but the conversation and the observation, how we see students interact with each other, that's critical. And the analysis, the insight, so how students communicate those ideas is critical. And it's a challenge, I think, for all educators. We're very much focused on product, on grading and returning, and really how important it is to observe students and encourage them to communicate and defend those ideas behind that product. And really, that's kind of the direction we're pushing now. I think AI stands in the way in many ways, but there's people doing some interesting things with AI. to try to elicit students in conversation, in dialogue, and in interesting ways. I think we're about to see a radical shift in education. These tools, are a double-edged sword, but I think they have a lot of opportunity to engage students on a one-on-one and challenge them to defend certain assumptions about the products they create. So we're excited about some of these tools coming down the pipe.
That's great. Thank you so much, Fernando. The next person in my list I can see is Dr. Gurmeet Kaur
Thank you all
Gill.
for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Raphael. So Dr. Gurpreet, yes, please go ahead. I think that it's enable your access.
Dr. Gurmeet, I think it is enabled. You just have to unmute yourself. Asim, could you please check once more?
Yep. I have him as the list of presenters. So you just need to.
Yeah, he's saying it's not,
Dr.
ma'am.
Dr. Gurmeet, sorry about that. Yeah, so I can see that you have the access to it. So you just need to. Okay, so can you access it now?
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes, we
thank
can.
you. It was very enlightening. Sorry, my camera, I'm not able to, make it active. So my simple question is that we spoke about so many strategies about, because we are connecting globally. So the simple question is that the base of every educational scenario is the kindergarten, the toddlers one. So any two effective strategies where we can start with the little learners, so that if the base is strong, the foundation is strong, the other things will go on a track. So I just want to know two strategies for the pre-learners or the kindergarten students. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Miss Sreela, would you like to share some thoughts? Or anybody in the panel actually can address that.
I think, okay.
Dr. Niyati.
Niyati, sorry.
No, please go ahead, ma'am, please. I'll follow you.
For me, just the one thing that comes out very clearly is the play way that we can teach them through. That's the one thing that connects with the younger ones. And the teacher coming down to that level and being with them, communicating in the way that they will learn best, understanding where the child is. So the playway is obviously the most, something that comes out very clearly to me. And I think that is what is being done in schools across. So getting them to, let's say, have a messy day, just play with water, just play with colors, just play with the elements of nature, just let them be outdoors. And that's where they will learn their natural abilities to survive, even if they are in the grass. So, parents these days don't have that liberty or that luxury of taking the children out into the open. They all have concretized everything. Everything is concrete. So take them out into the grass, take them out under the trees. I think those are life skills where they will pick up what it means to be, as Fernando first said, humans, right? They see an ant, they see a little worm. And I think that is what their first learning should be. And it'll be a great experience if we can give them those kind of life learnings.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for whatever your opinion you shared. In our school, we have done recently 10 days experiential learning program, where our little learners made the projects on their own, and even they explained their projects on their own. We have all nature walk activities, even they go for the community service, even we invite parents. So we are doing all number of things. 8 of my students made up a record at the age of 4, 5 and 6 in different book of records. Recently 3 of my children are in international book of records, you know. So we are doing all these things. My idea was to take away, you know, from the foreign curriculum, what extra we can do, because, you know, there is no limit to do something better. So something different, because every strategy in order to work on their psychomotor, you know, cognitive or affective domain, all things are catered wisely. Teachers are being trained. Something which is missed out, I just wish if I can have that. Otherwise, it was a just great learning session. So thank you to the organizers and to all the speakers here.
If I get an opportunity to answer this and add to what extra edge that you're looking at, so I'd like to share, we're following a happiness curriculum initiated by His Holiness Dalai Lama Ji, and we're following a PERMA model of happiness. Starts from kindergarten, and this generation needs that because they're all into gadgets, they're all becoming loners. We don't want to create digital zombies. And that's where this model really works. We've created happiness lounges also. So, and there is a happiness restaurant for teachers because happy teachers create happy students. So, this is an extra edge to the lovely answer that Aprajita ma'am also mentioned about experiential learning and the wonderful work that you're doing in your institution. Kudos to that. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And in order for the happy teacher create happy classrooms, we are working on QCity, which is Quality Circle Time, which is a very regular feature of our school. So where our first duty is to connect to the learner before we are connecting to any of the curriculum. So I think connecting to the learner is the most crucial need before we connect to the surrounding. So thank you once again.
One extra, actually, I just wanted to throw one point in there. We're in the high school industry, so it's much, there's a bit of a disconnect here, but I think there's a challenge for us as educators to remind parents and to push back because parents often want to give, and we all do, our kids a head start. And, you know, oftentimes they want to be reading before they're walking, or that's kind of exaggerating, but and the pushback is really to remind everybody how important play is. Play is such a fundamental part of being in kindergarten and a toddler, and that's where a lot of growth happens. But we forget that, I think, especially now with all of these online tools and new programs that we can offer to students at a very young age, that we need to remind parents and caregivers about the importance of play. Yeah, I'll leave it there.
That's great. Thank you so much, all the panelists. I think that this is going very well. So I think I'm going to take one more question from the audience. Dr. Bhavana, I have made you the presenter. So if you can kindly share your thoughts or your question, actually.
Hello, am I audible?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, good evening to everyone. I was just adding here what I believe and what we are following in our school. I'm so sorry that I'm not able to switch on my camera. What we follow in addition to it, what all the panelists have said, I was just writing that only. The gratitude circle. We have made all the days. Motivating Monday, smiling Tuesday, appreciating Wednesday, thanking Thursday, and forgive Friday. Every day we do some, we recall in our assembly time. This is how we try to, this is all, I believe we all are doing the same thing, but we have a unique kind of a method, depending on our vicinity, where we are, depending on the students, the kind of a learners, and the kind of educators we have. So if we sum up yes, we all are contributing to this. And in addition to it, being the master trainer for cybersecurity, I keep on, that's what Niyati ma'am has just recently said, that we need to take care of that. So now, yes, we need to groom them. We need to just tell them that what is this digital citizenship? What are the digital ethics? And these should be the regular practice in each and every school. Otherwise else, the learner of today, who is in just class 1, who is just using the phone for playing games and watching YouTube shorts, this is my personal experience as a leader in the school. I am very much, I have seen a number of students, number of parents, those who are giving this digital weapon in the hand of a small child just for the sake that, yes, you be busy and I'm doing something. So this is very serious concern, and all these all are connecting dots which we need to combine, and we all are working together. I'm so happy that I'm a part of this, and that was my last minute call to participate and to listen all the eminent panelists. And thank you to the organizer. Thank you to everyone for contributing for the growth of the learners, as well as making this globe. I'm not, because we are on a global platform, because now we earlier used to say sky is the limit. Now, as we all have heard, we all have seen that the mission was just for 8 days, and it it was
Sorry to interrupt, Dr. Bhavana.
Sorry.
I think that
Please go
I
on.
will highly appreciate it if you can just keep the question for the panelists.
Thank you so
that they
much.
can
No,
address. Thank you so
I
much.
I was just writing my thought. Thank you so much for giving me
That's
time.
right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ms. Sreela, would you like to highlight on that in terms of connecting? I think that you mentioned that previously in terms of the connection between like bringing that awareness to the parents. In terms of this digital era, in terms of these using the devices, which Dr. Bhavana was just mentioned, would you like to highlight something that how we can educate our parents? I think Miss Sreela is.
I think she's not here.
She's not. I think she got offline.
Yes.
Yeah. Can we take one more question from Mr. Trilok Singh Bisht? I guess he's raised his hand. So let's take last one.
Yes, let's take, of course.
Panelist?
So let me just make him the presenter. Give me 1 second.
And then we'll close because we are already out of time. So.
Trilok, yes, please go ahead.
I can unmute. Yes. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be on this platform today. This is Dr. Trilok Singh Bish, an educational evangelist. I've been working as a master trainer for CBSE. And I was listening to everyone and I was so happy that there was so much takeaways for me. But I just wanted to add here that, for the little ones, nursery, LKG, UKG, these kindergarten children, we can start working on creating a kindness path for the children. In the school, one corridor can be only kindness path, one corridor can be just the sensory path for the children. And, we can start with these empathetic values right from that age, because that is the age where the children learn the things and that remains with them throughout the life. So we believe in I personally believe putting in the values of empathy, kindness, and consciousness about what they're doing, and that sensory path in the school where the children with their barefoot, like ma'am Aprajita said, that taking them on the grass. According to me, we can create a sensory path where we can have one part grass, one part foam, one part with pebbles, one part with something, and the children have to walk with the blindfolded on this and feel it. And that feeling is going to be a learning for the children for a lifetime. And besides that, I believe these little children should be encouraged for the research based studies, one feels, what will the nursery child do the research altogether? That can be a research of a different kind. Talking about a story and telling them, go and talk to your grandfather, talk to your grandmother, find out what was there. So I think this, in honing that inquisitiveness amongst the children, making them ask more questions rather than give the rote learned poems and the things like that to the people. Let's hone up the inquisitiveness amongst the children. Let them ask as many questions as possible, and the research based age appropriate research should be inculcated right from the childhood only. These are some of the things which I thought I must share, because we are in this forum where we are all ready to listen and understand from each other. Thank you so much, Niyati ma'am. I think you remember I met you long time back at the CSR workshop you did in the Leela Hotel, and I was a
It's,
part
a,
of it.
it's my
Aparijita
pleasure and
ma'am,
honor,
so
sir.
wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah,
Cheta
thank you.
ma'am, it was so good hearing you. Sreela ma'am, Chetan sir, and Mr. Fernando, you are amazingly good. Your ideas, we can import a lot of things from you as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Asim, for connecting us all here today. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. So yes, as we come to the end of this rich and impactful decision, I would like to thank all of our panelists for sharing their expertise today. It's clear that the definition of student success is evolving. In today's world, academic achievement alone is no longer sufficient. So the challenges of our students face both now and in the future require far more than just subject knowledge and understanding. They demand adaptability, emotional intelligence, creativity, and above all, a strong foundation in essential life skills. So over the course of today's conversation, we have learned how critical skills like resilience, critical thinking, and leadership are not just nice to have, they are vital skills. These are the skills that empower students to navigate uncertainty, lead with confidence, and thrive in a world that's constantly changing. So we as educators and school leaders, we have a responsibility to equip students not just for exams or assignments, but to empower them with the skills and mindset they need to succeed in life beyond the classroom. I want to express our gratitude to our partner, Skills Reform. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Without your collaboration, this session would not have been possible. Finally, I also would like to extend a special thank you to all the participants who took the time in their evening time to attend this session. We really hope that you are leaving with new insights and inspiration. We look forward to seeing you all for our final panel discussion. And I think that we were having some conversations in this session here. The name of the topic is leveraging ChatGPT and AI tools to transform education. The session will be taking place on Friday, April 25th at 5:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much once again to all of our panelists for your rich discussion and conversations, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Namaskar.